Getting these valves out and taking the tappets out can be pretty tricky, especially when they're so inset in. We found a way that really makes it a lot easier to get these out. Let me show you how we did it. These little pieces of metal here go on the top of the valve. They're called tappets. And I'm gonna take one and kind of show you how they work. This one, they slide into the grooves of the valve. So these slide on just like this, and then the spring slides right over it like this. Now that is holding the valve connected to the spring. So whenever if I push up here, it's gonna compress that spring. So what we're trying to do is, this spring is under tension and we need to get the tappets out. So we need to compress the spring, push it down until those tappets are exposed, and then get them to fall off. So let me show you how we're gonna do that on the valve inside the head. All we're gonna do is take a socket, like a deep well, that fits in there just about perfect, where it's going to be resting on the outside of the spring. And then we're gonna take a strong magnet, this is from a hard drive, and put that on the edge. So now we can just set this on here, and then we can tap it just like with a rubber mallet. Okay, look, see, I got one out right there. There's still one left in there, so let's keep going until I get that out. I'm just gonna take this out. And these things, as you can imagine, are easy to lose. So I just have a jar where I'm gonna put them all so we don't lose them. There we go. So I can go ahead and take out the last tappet here. Put it in our jar. And now our whole spring assembly comes right out. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it over here. I have everything in order. All the lifters and all the springs, I'm just keeping in the same order just because. Now I can just take a screwdriver, something that has long reach, and I can put it on the end of the valve and then just tap it out. And here's our valve. Here is one of the bent ones, and here's a new valve. If we take the new one and the old one here in my hand, and we just spin it, you can see that the valve is bent, but it will really show up nicely in the lathe since this chuck is perfectly true. If you spin these side by side, you can really see how this one is really bent. So now we can just spin this at some slow RPMs, and that really shows up just how bent this valve is. Now let's go ahead and put the new valve in. So I'm just gonna chuck this one up. And you can see that is perfectly true, it's not moving at all. So if you've never seen this method before, it works really well, and we use it all the time on the valves, and it does a great job of getting them out. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. So I just cut open this old valve, and I was using it for this diameter that I needed. And if you look in here, it is actually filled with sodium, which is pretty cool. I've never actually seen a sodium-filled valve before, but that's pretty cool. See, if you look at it now, you can see it's oxidizing with the air, and that's why it has that bubbling to it.